Dr. Mustafa Bassiouni welcomes you. Dr. Mustafa Bassiouni will explain to you today. Implementing supermarket project requires specific steps to achieve success and provide a comfortable and easy shopping experience for customers. The following are general steps to implement this project. Study the market and competition. You must first study the local market and know the needs and desires of customers in the region, as well as the competition that exists in the market. True, studying the market and competition are essential steps to achieving success in a supermarket project. Here is some information that should be considered when studying the market and competition. Market study. The local market must be studied, and the needs and desires of customers in the region must be determined, such as the required items, appropriate prices, and additional services that customers need. Previous studies can be used, or opinion polls can be conducted to obtain more information. Competition analysis. It is necessary to analyze the competition that exists in the market, identify potential market competitors, study their business models, the services they provide, and the prices they charge, as well as the internal analysis of the project to know the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Identifying opportunities and challenges. You must identify the opportunities and challenges that the project may face in the market and determine the best ways to take advantage of the opportunities and deal with potential challenges. Determine the marketing strategy. You must determine the marketing strategy that suits the project and achieve success in the market, such as identifying appropriate marketing channels, promoting products, setting appropriate prices, and providing additional services. In general, studying the market and competition should be considered a priority in determining customer needs, defining potential opportunities and challenges in the market, and determining the appropriate marketing strategy to achieve success in the project. Space design and planning. The space must be appropriately designed and planned to provide different areas for goods and products, and define spaces for shelves, refrigerators, and other tools you need. Space design and planning is an important component of creating a successful supermarket. The space must be appropriately designed and planned to provide different areas for goods and products, and define spaces for shelves, refrigerators, and other tools you need. It is also important to provide sufficient space for shopping aisles, display areas, cashiers, and rest areas for customers. The arrangement of shelves and products must be determined appropriately to facilitate the shopping process for customers and maintain order and organization within the supermarket. Sufficient spaces must be provided for common products, and their location clearly indicated to facilitate access. Organizing products so that they're related to each other is important, as well as providing designated areas for sensitive products, such as fresh food, health products, and electrical products. Designated areas for discounted products and special offers can also increase the supermarket's attractiveness to customers. The space should be thoughtfully and appropriately designed and planned to maximize the efficiency and effectiveness of the shopping process and achieve the success of the supermarket. Here are some important tips for designing and planning space appropriately. In general, the space must be appropriately designed and planned to provide different areas for goods and products, identify necessary spaces for shelves and other tools, and provide sufficient spaces for smooth movement and shopping. Preparing documents, refrigerators, and tools is an important part of establishing a successful supermarket. Here are some important tips for preparing them appropriately. First, determine the needs of the space. Decide on the required number, sizes, and shapes of the tools, refrigerators, and documents based on the type and quantities of products that will be displayed. Next, choose appropriate and high-quality tools that are suitable for the products being displayed and meet the needs of customers. Design the documents and refrigerators in a way that allows for attractive and organized product display. Determine the appropriate sizes and number of documents and refrigerators based on the type of products being displayed. Provide the necessary tools for processing products, such as meat and luncheon cutting tools and fruit and vegetable presses. Determine the appropriate spaces for these tools. Pay attention to cleanliness and regular maintenance of documents, refrigerators and tools to keep them in good condition and maintain the quality of the products. In summary, prepare documents, refrigerators and tools appropriately based on the needs of the space and customers. Maintain cleanliness and regular maintenance to ensure product quality and an attractive shopping environment. Now let's move on to distributing and equipping the market sections. Distributing and equipping the supermarket departments appropriately is crucial for a successful supermarket. Here are some important tips. First, identify the different sections in the market, such as vegetables, fruits, meat, fish, feed, and health preparations. Determine the spaces needed for each section. Distribute the sections in a way that facilitates movement and easy access to each section. Avoid customers congregating in a specific area. By following these tips, you can create a comfortable and easy shopping experience for customers. Provide designated areas for food and other products, as well as areas for payment and other services. In conclusion, distributing and equipping the market sections appropriately is essential for a successful supermarket. Consider the needs of customers and create a convenient shopping environment. Remember, attention to detail and customer satisfaction are key to establishing a thriving supermarket. Sections must be designed in a way that allows products to be displayed attractively and organized. Departments must be equipped with the necessary tools and equipment. Areas for payment and other services must be provided. Good merchandise stacking is crucial for a successful supermarket. Determine the appropriate stacking system and spaces for products. Provide the necessary tools for the stacking process. Attention must be paid to the regular arrangement and organization of products, ensuring that they are placed in the appropriate place and avoiding excessive accumulation of products on the shelves. Sufficient space must be provided for the stacking process and avoiding excessive crowding of products, in order to provide the necessary space for customers and facilitate the process of searching for products. In general, the goods must be stacked well and based on a specific system, specifying appropriate spaces, providing the necessary tools, paying attention to the arrangement, and providing sufficient space for the stacking process, in order to provide the necessary space for customers and facilitate the process of searching for products. Determining the required labor is an important part of the space design and planning process for a successful supermarket. The required labor must be determined, including administration, accounts, and technical labor such as assembly, cashiers, and employees responsible for filling the shelves. The number of workers required must be determined based on the size of the space, the number of potential customers, and the different jobs that must be provided within the space. The necessary labor must be provided to operate the space smoothly and efficiently, and to ensure the provision of appropriate service to customers within the space. The number of cashiers and workers responsible for filling the shelves and the technical labor needed to maintain the various devices and machines within the space must be determined. It is also important to provide adequate labor for administration, accounts, inventory management, and financial planning for the supermarket. Appropriate workers must also be selected and trained in the skills necessary to operate the space effectively and provide high-quality customer service. Dedicated spaces must be provided to provide rest, training, and effective communication between workers within the space. In general, determining the required labor is necessary to ensure the smooth and efficient operation of the space and the provision of appropriate service to customers within the space. Determining the labor required in a supermarket project requires consideration of several factors. Here are some steps that can be followed to determine the required labor. First, determine the market sections and the number of workers required for each department. Next, define the tasks that must be performed in the market and determine the number of workers required for each task. After that, calculate the total number of workers required to work in the market. Determine the necessary qualifications for employment in the market and ensure potential workers match the requirements. Recruit workers by interviewing candidates and verifying their skills, qualifications and experience. Train the workers employed in the market on work requirements, internal procedures, and customer interactions. In general, the required labor should be determined based on market requirements, product demands, project size, expected customer numbers, and worker qualifications. Provide necessary support and training to workers for project success. Consider economic factors, budget, salaries, and benefits when employing workers. Business consultants can be used to better determine the workforce required and other operating. Advertising and marketing. Promoting the supermarket and attracting customers by advertising products, special offers, and creating social media sites are an important part of the space design and planning process for a successful supermarket. An effective marketing plan must be developed for the supermarket that includes advertising the products and services available within the space and promoting special offers, discounts, and promotional campaigns appropriately. Various media, such as television and radio advertisements, newspapers, magazines, and electronic advertisements, can be used to achieve this goal. It is also possible to create social media sites for the supermarket, promote products and services on these platforms, and provide attractive and interesting content to attract customers and motivate them to visit the space. Interactive tools and methods must also be provided with customers within the space, such as loyalty programs, discounts, gifts and prizes, to encourage customers to return to the space and increase their purchasing rate. In general, promoting the space and attracting customers through advertising, creating social media sites, and providing customer interaction tools are essential for the success of the supermarket and increasing purchase rates and revenues. True, advertising and marketing are two important parts of attracting customers and enhancing the success of a supermarket. Here are some important advertising and marketing tips. In general, the market must be promoted and attracted to customers by advertising products and special offers, creating social networking sites and promoting the market on them, and providing a distinctive shopping experience for customers in order to attract more customers and enhance the success of the supermarket. Opening the market. Preparing to open the space, providing customer services, and ensuring that everything customers need is provided in the space is an important part of the process of designing and planning the space for a successful supermarket. It must be ensured that all products and services that customers need are provided within the space, ensuring that fresh, diverse and high-quality products are provided and that shopping tools and other necessities that customers need are provided within the space. It is also necessary to provide good and effective customer services. Ensure that the necessary support is provided to customers within the space. Ensure the provision of designated spaces for customers to rest and provide the necessary instructions and information to customers. Workers must also be trained on how to deal with customers, provide high-quality service and assistance in case of need, and provide quick and effective solutions to any problem customers may face within the space. In general, preparing to open the space, providing customer services, and ensuring that everything customers need is provided is essential for the success of the supermarket. Achieving customer satisfaction, encouraging them to return to the space and increasing their purchase rate. It is true that good preparation for the opening of the market is an important part of its success. Below are some important tips for preparing for the opening of the market. In general, you must prepare well for the opening of the market, provide customer services, ensure that everything customers need is provided in the market, announce the opening, and attract customers through advertisements and promotion on social media sites and paid advertisements in order to attract more customers and enhance the success of the market. Dr. Mustafa Bassiouni.
قم بالاشتراك في القناة وتفعيل الجرس ليصلك كل جديد.